So, we have to get the ultimate man of metal here with us, Dani Filth. Hello.
Greetings.
Greetings. Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Do you know what? First of all, since we last spoke, you dropped the most amazing, game-changing album. Existence Is Futile was phenomenal. Is there something in the water right now? Because I feel like a lot of bands are just coming in hot.
Maybe there was a bit of COVID in the water at some point. we were very fortunate, in fact, that we were in the studio, or just about to go into the studio when COVID hit.
Yeah.
And our drummer's from the Czech Republic, and he'd just laid down his drums, and then they shut all the borders. So it just left me in the studio with the producer, just, you know. I don't think we ever get that chance to be as liberal or spend as much quality time. I think we were already working like 5-6 hours a day, and no one around, no one to bother us. It was great.
Wow. And so that's
possibly one of the reasons why.
And is that, I'm assuming you're very proud of the record?
So why?
Because I'd be patting myself on the back, left, right, and centre, going, I did that.
Well, I just don't think I don't think we're going to get the opportunity again, even if we had. Well, we don't think we ever get the time, because you're always going to get someone breathing down your neck saying, you know, the album was supposed to be delivered yesterday. None of that. Nobody knew when the COVID scenario was going to end. So, yeah, we were very fortunate in that respect. A lot of my fellow friends and peers, some of them were going out on tour and just literally had to, you know, shit, what are we going to do with all this merchandise and the tour bus and etc. Just had to cancel it all.
God, yeah, you don't even think of those things when you're not in a band. When you were writing at that time, because it was so liberal and you were able to do what you wanted, do you think that's where you kind of ended up delving into lyrically areas you might not have done before?
I think most of the stuff was actually written beforehand, to be honest.
Right, okay.
And if anything came out of that was kind of cross-pollinated with the COVID scenario, I think it was just the fact that the year before, 2019, had been our busiest year and we've been everywhere. And if there's any themes about overpopulation or you know, problematic humanity errors, etc., that would have been just what we bore witness to going to South America, well, the whole world basically. We did the whole world that year.
And how have the shows been going with Donnie and Zoe?
Great, yeah. We just came back from a full American tour with them, part of which was that's when we're in a Danzig hoodie. Nice. Do my bit. Yeah, we were supporting Danzig for the first half, and then we went out and did some sort of tertiary markets, and it was great. Loved it. Great getting out into America. We were lucky. We got out there last year. We had both support acts got COVID.
Oh man.
And all of us somehow were in this weird magical bubble.
Yeah. Stay away from me.
Probably the alcohol. Saw it off.
You pickled it. You pickled COVID.
Yeah.
One of the things I did want to ask you about is if you had to teach other bands about longevity, what would you say? Because Cradle I would put in the same box in a sense as bands like Slipknot, who are able to appeal to people who have been into metal for years, but then also you've got like 12-year-old fans out there wearing your t-shirt.
Have we?
You've been able to keep this band so young and so fresh and just relevant to new crowds all the time. Is that something conscious, or is it just because you are?
I don't know. I don't think it's, well, obviously you're conscious about, you know, what album's going to be releasing and the whole aesthetics and makeup of the band, but I don't think you can actually preach. I think it'd be very sort of convoluted if you wrote stuff to cater for new people. I know a lot of bands that do that, and unfortunately we don't do that. We kind of govern ourselves, much to the chagrin of our management sometimes, when they go, do you really need, you know, a blast beat 8-minute long song? So no, I can't really. The only thing is just, well, if you are staying relevant, you stay around, I guess. You mutate and survive. But we do try and be ourselves as much as possible. So I can't answer that. Just rubbish on.
See, I think no, because I'm gonna answer it for you. Tell you
really?
what I think it is.
What's that?
I think it's because whereas a lot of bands tend to come out with this rebellion in their late teens, early 20s, and then they just kind of mellow and keep making albums that sound like the albums that did before.
Yeah.
But I feel like you feel like a ball of rebellion, and I feel like maybe you're the kind of artist who doesn't listen to management and all the corporate people, and you're like, this is what I'm going to do, and you're not predictable.
Am I?
You're not predictable at all. I feel like you're always up to something. Something new's about to happen.
Yeah, this is a fake arm. Watch out.
Have you got any plans going forward? Any?
Yeah, we've got a live album coming out beginning of next year. Just we'll say finishing touches, mixing it. There's 2 bonus tracks on that. Believe it or not, we still have yet to finish our song with Ed Sheeran. He's done some of it, but then he had a baby, and then he got obviously very sidetracked with that and doing whatever Ed does, which is playing massive shows around the globe. So,
wow.
You know, he's not at our beck and call, but he is going to finish it, he assures me. I actually spoke to him quite recently. And so that's happening. And then we're also writing for a new album. But we've got our European tour coming up with Alcestin support.
Amazing. Starting
1st of October in Paris, culminates at the O2, at the Indigo at the O2 on the 29th, which is our like special Halloween show, after show party till 6 in the morning. So it's probably cheaper to buy a Cradle ticket than it is actually to go out in London and get a hotel, even if you're not into the band. You know? And then we go to South America.
Wow, busy
Christmas.
times.
Absolutely.
And with you, how do fans react to the different areas that you dabble in, like doing a song with Ed Sheeran?
Well, I think they just have to like it or lump it, really. I think I wouldn't say an irony in it. I think we really appreciate the marriage of extremes. So I'd rather do a track with someone like Ed Sheeran than do a track with someone like, I don't know, think of someone else, you know, like, I'm not going to name names,
No.
so it sounds like
Yeah,
I don't want to do it with them, but I'm just saying, I think the clash of interests, the marriage of extremes, I think that's interesting in itself.
I think that's really true, and I think because there was a time that I remember about 10 years ago where if you were into metal, you couldn't even admit to even liking pop. You had to be like, no, I didn't
say I liked his music, did I? I like him.
Brilliant. So you're right. You've got the song coming out very, very soon.
Well, when it's finished.
When
we
it's
don't know
finished.
when it's coming out, but we have 2, like I say, proper songs, as they were, like different new songs on the live album as well. You know, original studio songs.
Okay. And have you got a message to any of your new fans? Because as we say, there's some really young kids out there, and metal can sometimes be quite a scary place.
Yeah, don't be cunts. Just don't be a cunt. I think that's my message.
Even if you're 12.
Even if you're 12. More so if you're 12.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for
My
chatting
pleasure.
to us here
Absolutely.
at Knotfest.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll catch you next time.
Yes, brilliant.
Thank you.
Cheerio.
Cheerio.